Good plan. So today we meet on the settled indigenous land, which is the traditional territory of the Chinook peoples of the Wasco, Wishram, Warren Springs, and Grand Ronde tribes. Let us honor this land as traditional native stewards, past, present, and future, and strive today to embody the commitment and cultural equity and reconciliation, ecological conservation, and sustainability. In this spirit, I hereby call this meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. Tia, can you do a roll call, please?
Yeah, Greg Pack, Chair.
I am right here.
Oh,
Somebody else is here too.
Megan Rainey, Vice Chair.
Here.
Daryl Roberts, Secretary.
Here.
Megan Larrabee.
Here.
Letty Moretti. Laura Dunn. And Tamara Taylor.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any public here? Nope. Okay, then I won't read the whole public comment opportunity. We would be on to item number 4, which is the draft transit master plan update. Amy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so we made all the updates per the last board meeting. They were in your board materials. I'm sorry, I did feel it was necessary to include the executive summary and the full plan, which is why your materials were so large. So I am sorry about that. But we have not received any additional public comment. I have done some additional advertising, so to speak. I did go, so in addition to going to the Hood River County Commissioners meeting and talking about the plan, I also went to the Hood River City Council. I also went to Cascade Lock City Council. And last night I did do a brief public comment to let people know about the meeting at the Board of Commissioners meeting. So we've also done public notification, done some social media as well.
Any great comments from any of the different entities?
So the city council, or Hood River City Council, was appreciated the electric vehicles and the electrification of the fleet. They were concerned about the trolley, so it just wasn't specifically stated in the plan. So we did add it to make sure it was there. And then and I don't remember any other specific comments from Hood River County Commissioners except for the fact that they thought it was a very readable plan. And I got that feedback from the other entities as well.
Okay. Well, I guess that's good sign, right? If it's not any negative comments or, all right. All right, that's really it, right?
It is, I do believe.
There's no motion required, we just have to get out of this section.
Correct,
Okay.
but we should wait until 4:15 just in case people do decide to sign on.
Maybe you should have talked slower.
I'm sorry, I can redo it if you'd like.
Oh, because we have it published out there at 4:15 is the start of a regular meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for record keeping purposes, Lara has joined. Hi, Lara.
Hi, guys.
I have it at 4:05.
So did you guys, everybody hear that? We're gonna have to wait till 4:15 to start our regular meeting?
Well, I'm curious. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge out of the plan for the district to accomplish?
I think it's gonna be funding, as well as formalization of bus stops as we build out these new services, as well as the planning, funding, finding, and building of the mobility hubs.
Okay.
I do have a question, not on that, just point of order. Could we start the meeting, and if we did have public join, go back to the public comment section and allow them to join and update them on the meeting? just in respect of everybody's time.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Although we
think-
do need to, yeah, so I think we could,
As long as
maybe,
we're recording it, it's out there, it's available. If somebody wanted that, then we could.
Exactly.
correct, and then I think if there's any other public that has joined by the time we get to the action item.
Okay.
Then I think we'll just allow them to provide any public comment if they wish to.
Okay.
So I think we can adjourn this piece and then allow for any public comment.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? The draft master plan meeting?
I move to adjourn this section of our meeting.
Thank you, Tamara. Second,
I second that.
thank you, Megan. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A lot of thumbs up, thank you. Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye, we are out of this meeting. Now let's move into our regular board meeting. And we'll call the meeting to order. Can we do a roll call, Tia?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, before you do that, I need to read my notes here. Staff has informed me that agenda item 6E is no longer applicable and is requesting it for it to be removed from the agenda. So. Oh, we got some treats coming in. You guys. are
Yes.
missing out.
Do we need a motion to change the start time?
So that was the approval of the modified cash.
Okay.
specifics. Was 6E. Yeah, and we can do that right after the good suggestions, Laura.
Yep.
So is there a motion to remove agenda item 6E?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll
Daryl. A
second.
second.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? All right, chair votes aye. So I guess we'll make a motion to start the meeting at 4:08.
We'd just say with the stipulation that if any public does join, we'll allow them to speak before any
Okay.
actions taken.
So moved.
So moved. Second. Thank you, Laura. I just got a one finger there. I'm gonna take that as a, all right, thumbs up. Any further discussion on that? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Perfect. Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We can start the meeting. And we'll revisit any public comment should any public, come by. Tia, can you do a roll call for the regular meeting, please?
Yes. Greg Pack, Chair.
I'm right here.
Megan Rainey, Vice Chair. Yes.
Here.
Sorry.
Sorry, she put her finger up like she was doing it before. Yeah.
Daryl Roberts, Secretary.
Here.
Megan Larrabee.
Here.
She's here.
Letty Moretti. Laura Dunn
Here.
and Tamara Taylor.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Now we need approval of the April 19th, meeting minutes. The board, the minutes are in your packet. Are there any changes the board would like to make? Or corrections? Okay, is there a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Daryl.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Tamara. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
See the ayes up
Aye.
there. Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. Minutes have been approved from the April 19th meeting. All right, we do have public comment. Now's the opportunity for any public comment regarding a discussion item that is not on the agenda today. If there's anyone that'd like to make public comment, please indicate you'd like to provide testimony. And if there's no public here, we're gonna reserve this right for later in the meeting, so we'll allow it to happen later. Okay. We will move on. to agenda item number 5, financial update. Tia, can you go ahead?
Yeah, so I wanted to provide the board with an update on our financial status with the transition that we're making between Umpqua and Key Bank. We don't have the full financial packet this month, so I wanted to give just the key highlights of like the grant funds that we've received, as well as the status of our transition to the new bank. Today, we received our login details for the new account with Key Bank. And we have a meeting scheduled for training with them on Tuesday. Is
We have
it
it tomorrow and Tuesday.
tomorrow and Tuesday?
So in order to use a couple of the products that you require training.
Do they require training for the executive board members?
I
stuff?
don't think so,
Okay.
but I.
I did,
may have to
I didn't
rescind
sign
that.
up for anything, but I did register and do have a login and everything else.
Okay, great.
Perfect. And so, Megan, Rainey and Daryl, you guys will, if you haven't already, be receiving info to log into Key Bank as well. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Well, I
Um,
have received it and I'm wondering, do we need to go through all that stuff?
So at this time, I think the only thing I would suggest you doing is, one of the emails you received would be your instructions to log in to be able to view the account info. I would complete that portion.
Okay,
And then I would assume probably next week, or within the next few weeks, you guys will be receiving, an additional document via DocuSign, to complete your signer status on the account. So you won't have to go into the bank. You'll be able to complete it via DocuSign, which is nice.
okay,
And
thank you.
The trainings, I'm really excited about it because it just tells me, instead of opening the account and just letting us go free with and figure it out on our own, I really do appreciate them taking the time to go through step by step before everything is good to go. I think that's already a step in the right direction.
And I just one other thing to add to that, since you guys do have your ability to sign on to the account. I encourage you guys to do that every once in a while to just check in on the cash flow, as Tamara and I kind of talked about
Yes.
this last week. It's just an extra check on staff, is really just ensuring that you guys know what the current status is of the cash based on what you can see from your portal. And then, compare it with financials as you see appropriate.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So grants, we have started submitting the Q3 grants, which is great. So those will start coming in over the next probably month. We'll see them. We did receive for our Q3 funds. So since our last report, we've received for grant reimbursement totals, excluding the vehicles, it's 468,317. With the vehicle reimbursements, we're at 891,229.
Okay.
We have received our stiff formula funds for Q4, and that's 16,925. So those have come through. We are still waiting for reimbursements from a few grants. We haven't been able to submit them yet, and that is 150,000 for the Gorge to Mountain Service, as well as roughly 60,000 for our 5304 and 5311 funds. And that is, we're waiting on ODOT and
So there's nothing
FBA.
on our end.
Nothing on our end. No,
Okay.
we're just
Especially
waiting
the
on
federal government.
finalize
Okay.
things on there, and then those will be ready to go.
Awesome.
And that is all I have. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Or any additional questions about the financial aspect?
Well, are we done with Columbia Bank at this point?
We're not. During the transition period, I have to wait until we're fully integrated with Key Bank because I do have, well, we do have, sorry. Several of our accounts that are on auto pay that I don't have that info to be able to transition it yet. So my goal is to, once we get everything established with Key Bank, and all the vendors moved over and our reimbursement set up and that all completed, my goal is to, by end June 30, have everything completed and that account completely closed.
Okay, yeah, let's try to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Any other questions for Tia? Okay, thank you very much. We are on to agenda item number 6, resolution and action items, and Amy, the floor is yours.
All right, so the first one is for the adoption of the Hood River County Transportation District Transit Master Plan. Based on what you received in the materials, and again, that included all feedback received. Megan, I'm sorry, is that hand a new hand, or is that you have your hand raised? Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So we have incorporated all feedback received. And unless there's any additional changes, our staff is asking the board to adopt and approve the plan.
All right. Is there a motion to approve? Do I have to read the resolution?
Yes, please.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 0517202231 to adopt the transit master plan up?
I'd just like to say first, congratulations, it's a beautiful document. It's a really exciting set of plans and really well thought out. I'm so impressed with all the work that went into pulling that together, and excited to see everything that's going to happen. And I would like to make a motion to approve it.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
You have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? All right, chair votes aye. Congratulations.
Yay.
It's been
Thank
approved.
you.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, wonderful. Okay, so the next item is 6B, the approval of the Multnomah Falls Transportation Ambassador contract. I have included it in your board meeting materials, but I'm asking for approval to have the contract with it's Gorge Area Business Assistants who will staff and manage the Multnomah Falls Transportation Ambassadors Program. It's a total not to exceed of $70,000. We are working with the U.S. Forest Service, who is going to fund this program in full.
Perfect. Okay, is there a motion to approve the Multnomah Falls Transportation Ambassador contract?
The Department of Transportation will fund it in full.
The U.S. Forest Service.
Use Forest Service, sorry.
So we're,
And
yeah, go ahead.
tell about our responsibilities for it.
Basically, it's administrative functions, mostly what I've already done of putting a request to bid out, as well as creating a contract and just kind of overseeing the contractor. There are some funds available for us to charge the Forest Service to recoup some of that administrative expense.
We don't have to provide staffing for.
Nope.
Right.
The only thing that we will be providing are gorge passes for their employees.
May I make a motion to approve that?
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Tamara. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, chair votes aye. 6B passes.
All right, approval of upcoming grant applications. I also included a memo on this. Essentially, there are two big grant applications that we would like to apply for. And I'm just asking for your approval to do so. The first one is the carbon reduction program. This would cover an e-bike lending library and subsidy program, as well as a second phase of the car sharing program in the city of Hood River. So the total cost would not exceed $800,000. We are still finalizing the application, but the application is due May 31st. I have been working with Megan on this as she is our local bike expert.
I think Megan's opposed to this.
And I'm working with other nonprofits who have been involved in car sharing, electric car sharing specifically in the area. So the total cost about $800,000. The expected match would be $80,000. The district is working with City of Hood River to assist with $10,000 of this. And $60,000 is eligible to be covered through a Pacific Power grant. So it would just be a $10,000 grant match commitment for the district.
So it's 10,000, not the 20,000 that we were talking about then?
So it's a 20 total, but the City of Hood River would give us $10,000 of that for that. So in our
Okay.
budget, it's accounted for, Daryl, as, so we receive in the contract revenues, the $10,000 from the city would be there. And then and then there's the total expense. The assumption was that 200,000 of this, if approved, if allocated, would be spent next year, not the total 800,000.
Okay, so I was wondering when that.
How
Does that
soon,
make sense, Daryl?
Yeah, I mean, and I want to apologize to the people that are on the budget committee because I totally misunderstood what Amy said about this once already, and we got it. I think we got it straightened out this morning.
Awesome. Well, I think I probably could have improved how I communicated that to Daryl. So I will remember that for next time. Sometimes it's really hard because I'm looking at these budgets all the time and then I forget what other people may or may not know. So I am trying to make sure I cover all my bases.
how soon would we see rollout of the lending library, bike lending?
It would potentially be closer to spring of 2024. When we would be paying for the capital pieces of that.
And there's a second part to this.
And the second part, thank you, is the CARES allocation. So this is the last CARES allocation that will be available. And it would cover PM and operating expenses for fiscal year 2023 and also potentially some PM for fiscal year 2024. To see what we could potentially get, and then we could save some of the other allocated funds for future years. Yes, so that is the plan. Any other questions on those two?
PM is project management?
Sorry, great question. Preventative maintenance.
Okay,
Thank you. Jargon.
Another example where I live in my world.
Okay, Megan Rainey, do you want to make a motion?
Yes, and before I do, I just have to tell a little story about I'm teaching at Y East this week and next week, bike safety skills, and at the beginning of the class I asked, what are bikes good for? And today I was so crushing over one of the students who said, I use my bike to get to the bus stop. So
Yeah.
that's if anybody's scratching their head, like, why would we ever get into this? That's why. So I'll make that a motion to approve these grants, or the grant applications, I should say.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay, chair votes aye, 6B passes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Oh, no, sorry, that was 6C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one is the approval to open LGIP account. Now, I do know that there is some concern on this one as there is potential risk. So please do not feel that a decision has to be made tonight on this one. The staff can do some additional research. Daryl, do you mind explaining some of your concerns?
Well, my main concern is that if you read under the policy statement, it says that pool account balances are not guaranteed or otherwise protected by Treasury, its agents, or the FDIC. And it also says in there somewhere about, that our par value, which means our dollars put in equals dollars taken out, is not always the case. So that concerns me because that means our money is at risk. I know, we can hope that the state of Oregon knows what they're doing with their money and takes pretty good care of it, but I feel like we're in charge of this money and we need to make sure it's safe and will be returned. So I have some concerns about that wording.
Are there LGIP accounts that are FDIC insured?
There's
Or-
not.
Not
Uh,
tired.
Well, I have some other ideas about where we could put the money that would be FDIC insured, at least some of it. Like for instance, just quickly, I looked up what key bank CD rates are, and even for a short-term CD of 100,000 or more, we can get 5% right now, guaranteed. That's not a variable rate, and it is FDI insured up to 250,000 per account ownership, it says. So we might only be able to do one for 250,000, or do what I would suggest, which is ladder them. So you have, one expiring each month or every couple months or something.
And an entity like ours is allowed to have a CD. It's not just for individuals.
Well, yeah, that's something I'm not sure about yet. I hope so. It didn't say anything about not being able to do it. And it did talk about corporate accounts.
Do we have an investment policy for the district?
Not
Or
to my
something
knowledge, no. The intent of this discussion, just in general, is to put the money where it's somewhere where we can get some sort of investment back on the money.
Yeah.
We were under the impression that the county account did get some sort of interest, but it
And
doesn't.
what's the dollar figure we're talking about? You see $30,000 annually, but what's the amount? Are we even holding with that?
That was based off, I think, 900,000.
Yes.
And when we did talk to the accountant about this, and she thought that was a bit low if we did put it in an LGIP account. So that was the estimation. But I think that was also 3%.
Correct.
So if we were at 5%, even with $250,000.
Do you have any history or knowledge of any defunct LGIP accounts? Or maybe that's a question for Daryl, is that
would be.
ever happened in the past or?
Well, I don't have any experience with them in the past, but I know that the state has done some pretty poor investments in their PERS accounts in the past.
Okay.
This is Megan. I do think having the FDIC insurance, I don't know, I guess if it's allowed or not allowed for certain accounts, but I do think that is a wise thing to have with, I mean, even on the greater scale where we've seen some of the smaller banks failing, need to get bailed out. And I've had friends' businesses that like their money got hacked or stolen, and they were only allowed to reimburse that 250,000 because of the FDIC insurance. So I feel like at the very least that should be considered.
So it sounds like what I'm hearing is we should do a little bit more research and look for other accounts and options that have the FDIC insurance and come back to you guys next month. Okay. Sounds good.
Or yeah, the other option too would be look at other local banks, like Umpqua maybe.
Right. Right.
And, see
Not
about
Good
putting,
suggestion.
see about, sorry, and
I
see
think-
about putting it in some other local banks. I know there's other organizations that spread their love throughout
Right.
the county or community and other banks to do that. So if that's an opportunity where we still have that protection, maybe.
Yeah.
There's the Cascade Community Credit Union or the fancy new building up in the Heights.
Well, I
Just
didn't
research
get it.
it.
I didn't get a chance to check on it, but the credit unions, it appears, can insure more than the 250,000. So you might want to check into that.
Okay.
So, doesn't sound like we'll have a motion, but I'll leave that option if somebody wants to make one. No? Okay. Sounds like we'll need some further investigation on that. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Wonderful. All right, the next one, I am asking for approval of our new operations manager, Jeff Accioli, as an eligible check signer for our account. In the event that I am on vacation or I'm not available, we found that's best practice to have somebody on staff who has the ability to sign those checks. And since Tia is the one that is creating the checks, it would not be appropriate for her to be that person.
Is
So
that up to 10,000?
so it would be the same for me, so he would have the ability to sign for up to 10,000. And then anything above, he would need your approval.
Okay.
Or one of the executive committee members' approval.
And is there another signature required on the checks also?
Yeah, so not under 10,000. But all of that, there would be a record of anything that was done. And of course, it would have to be first writ, or a check would have to be created by Tia before that could be done. And this is something that the previous operations manager did have done.
So, but at least Tia would have to have knowledge of the check being,
Yes.
Correct.
okay.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve Jeff as a signer?
Well, I guess I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Daryl. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Laura. Any further discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Hi.
Okay, any opposed? All right, chair votes aye. 6F is passed.
All right.
Okay, now we're on to number 7, operations manager report.
It's actually Jeff, not myself. Sorry.
Yeah, there, Jeff, are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
Cool. Okay, so operations report for April. So I was messing around in Samsara, the program that we get most of this data from, and I did this recalibration to match our fleet, and you'll see that our safety score is now 80 opposed to the 98s that we've been getting. I went back to March and we ended up with an 83 for March. So the recalibration, I think over time we're going to see that you guys able to hear me okay? There's just a weird noise. Everyone okay?
Yeah, it's just the air conditioning, I think.
Okay, cool. So we're actually down 3 points from March because I went back and did the safety report for March, and it is actually 83, not 98. So I think going forward, those numbers should reflect closer to those 80 markers. And the reason we're down is because we were up in harsh events. Our harsh events, and the reason those were up, I looked into it because we were been running our electric van, which we just put a Samsara box in, and the Samsara box was still set to heavy vehicle, so it was extra sensitive for both of our vans actually. So we had to go back and update that. So 13 of those harsh events were from our small vans, and that would bring us to if you took those out, it'd be 14, which is pretty comparable to what we've been seeing in previous months. So that should be resolved for the 2 small vans going forward. We had one crash, which happened in our lower lot. It was one of our drivers backed a bus up into a parked car, and that issue has been resolved with our insurance. Fixed OTP and the DAR, I skipped over speed limit is 1.4%. That is, our speeding has gone down. So that's a good thing. There's been a lot of talk in our drivers meetings and one-on-ones with drivers, and we've been really working on reducing our overspeeding, people speeding on the road.
Can you refresh my memory what qualifies as severe speeding?
Yeah, it's 10 over 10 miles an hour.
Thank you.
Yep. Fixed OTP and DAR OTP, I actually did not know how to look that up. I still have to learn how to do that. But moving on from that, we have the hours driven was 1,347. Miles driven was 43,981. Estimated fuel cost is 20,975, and the fuel cost per mile is still 47 cents. It's pretty comparable to the previous month. Go ahead.
I don't think anybody asked questions yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just getting feedback on my speakers here. Okay, formal customer complaints. We had 1 complaint. Vehicle incidents, we had 4. The vehicle incidents are more less having to do with other vehicles and more so with our personal vehicles. I think examples of those would be like 2 buses tapped mirrors, or somebody bumped a bike rack into one of our buses into the lower lot. So it's things that aren't going to go to insurance or have to be reported, or things that are reported by our drivers that don't really need to be escalated. They're just letting us know that there was something happened in the lot, or a vehicle got scratched or something like that. Customer incidents, we had 2 customer incidents and 0 vandalism. The 2 customers incidents was one, we actually had somebody get on one of our buses at Gateway Transit Center, get on the bus and grab we have these boxes that have like rubber gloves, nothing really high value, get on the bus and run off the bus with our box. So our driver reported that. And then he reached out to the Gateway security, and the Gateway security said there wasn't much they could do about it, and that we could call the police if we wanted, but it wasn't a high value thing. So we did not call the police. The other one was we had a policy. We broke a policy for a customer. They ended up coming, I think they were coming from the Dells to our transit center. We transported them here with more stuff than we usually allow on our bus. We got them to our safety hub, or sorry, our CAT hub, and we made the call they needed to get to Portland, and we thought it was best to let them continue their journey. And we basically let them on as a one-time courtesy, so they weren't stranded in Hood River, and got them to their destination. So those were the 2 customer incidents. Yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything else unless anybody has any questions.
Well, what was the complaint?
The complaint was we had a driver who took a break and smoked a cigarette too close to the bus, and passenger called and complained about it.
Okay. Any other questions for Jeff? Appreciate that update, Jeff, and thanks for joining us on your vacation day. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, on item number 8. Executive session. Amy, is that you?
Yes, I just need you to say the ORS and.
Okay, executive session ORS 192.6602D. Conduct deliberations with persons designated to carry on labor negotiations.
All right, so I will be putting us, well, there's no public. I will be pausing or stopping, pausing the recording. And there is also no members of the press, so there's.
All right, chair votes aye, we are out of exec. So since there was a lot of discussion there, I guess, Amy, I'd ask you to move through some of these other things really quick to respect of the board's time. I want to give you two stuff, just be conscious of that.
Yeah, what are we doing? We're at 5:33. Okay.
Yeah, we're at number 9.
Okay, cool. So staffing update, we are making sure that we have enough staff for the summer, make sure we have some buffer room there. For summer service update, the main things is we will start on May 29th for expanded Columbia Gorge Express service. So that's adding 3 buses to our 3 additional trips to our 7 trips that we already have. And then there's the July 1st, which would and we still haven't gotten final approval, but we're assuming we're gonna get it just in order to make decisions. But if we get the white salmon contract.
Okay.
And then for the fiscal year 24 annual budget timeline and update, thank you so much to you all who were able to join at the budget committee. I thought it was a really great conversation. The budget committee did feel they had all the conversation or all the information they needed to cancel the second budget committee. So the third one, I believe, is going to be on June 10th, which is when we will present just a couple of updates based on our conversation today. So not June 10th.
I know, because June 9th is the last day of school.
I apparently don't have my dates accurate, but it's early June.
Yeah.
I would look it up, but conscientiousness of time. So it's early June. It's before the next board meeting. And then the recommendations will be brought to the board at the June meeting. Okay, so that's all for the executive director report. June 7th. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. You were too busy, so I helped you out there.
I appreciate it. For discussion items, I think my suggestion is that we move this to the June board meeting.
Yeah.
It's not a time sensitive matter of the remove flag stops from city rep. I'm sorry.
Can
there's
we get a
spot for you.
quick update about the Gorge, or what's it called, the Dog Mountain Express and
Yeah.
everything that's going?
It's doing fabulously.
Yay.
It's very high ridership.
Excellent.
No complaints. We're running our bigger buses that we recently purchased, and it's going swimmingly. Jeff, would you like to add anything to that?
Not a ton to add. I think just operationally we started running our downtowner, our new app on that run, and that's also been pretty successful as well. I think it's most of our drivers that are running that run this year are were also part of it last year, so we got a good smooth operation so far.
And that's the dispatch technology that we are using. Also, one other thing to add is our vehicles that we have had for a while, that so our big coach buses that have been defunct, they are now on auction. if you know anybody who is interested in big buses, I can send out the links. You should share them with your friends. And we'll have an update for you that at next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move discussion item 10 to the next meeting. Does the board have any additional items they'd like to discuss today? Okay, upcoming events.
I already
We did that,
discussed
So
them.
we got them.
Memorial Day, it's weekend level
Yeah.
service.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, for your time. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, thank you. We have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Daryl. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of adjourning,
Bye.
Bye.
any opposed?
Um, one discussion item, I want to congratulate Tamara on her election to the board.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes,
And,
and so we do
okay.
have two
Yeah, go ahead.
new board members in addition to Tamara, and it's Gisela and Elazar. And so they will be starting July 1st or the July meeting. And at the July meeting, there will also be committee, executive committee elections as well. So,
Awesome,
all right.
thank you. Thanks for bringing that up, appreciate that. Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
5:37.
Thank you, guys. 5:37.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeff. Go have fun. Enjoy. Say hi to your family.
Well,
Thank
bye.
you.